Hey everybody, this is Keith here of Euphoria Pictures. Welcome back to my channel. Right, so I've got a haul video for you here. It's my latest pickups that I got on 4K and Blu-ray. Now a lot of these are from Amazon Italy, so there will be a few Steelbooks. There is one rather beautiful looking Mediabook as well, and one or two Blu-rays. So I think maybe around 7 movies in this video. So I'm going to jump into it right now because I don't want it to go on too long. So the first movie that I picked up is a very charming movie called Ticket to Paradise. Now, I've said it numerous times, I'm a big romantic comedy fan. This movie definitely ticks all the right boxes for me. It stars George Clooney and Julia Roberts. It's basically about this couple. They're actually divorced. They cannot stand each other. They can't even be in the same room as each other. And they basically find out that their daughter is getting married out of the blue. So both of them, you know, plan together to go to this island to stop the daughter from getting married because they think she's making a terrible mistake. And need I say any more, as soon as they get to the island, let's just say love starts to blossom once again. And look, it just goes without saying, but if you are into your romantic comedies, this one is one to check out. Julia Roberts and George Clooney, the chemistry between the two of them is absolutely amazing. You can tell that both of these are close friends, and it really does come across in this movie. And the location, wherever this movie was shot, it just looks beautiful. The Blu-ray is fantastic. It's one of those Blu-ray releases that actually looks like a 4K release. So I think you'll be massively impressed by its picture quality. So yeah, that's my first pickup, Ticket to Paradise. Had a fun time with that movie. Right, so up next, I got Deep Rising. So as soon as I heard about Treat Williams passing away, I made it my mission to try and get this movie because he is fantastic in it. Now, anyone, if you're not aware of the movie, the movie's held on a cruise ship. The cruise ship gets overtaken by these kind of underwater sea creatures. They're quite massive, so it's a bit of a kind of a creature feature movie. And if you're big into, you know, deep blue sea or aliens, trust me when I say you are really going to enjoy this movie. It's directed by the director of the Mummy movies, Stephen Sumner. And there is elements of this movie that actually will remind you of the Mummy movies. Some of the visual effects that you will see will actually remind you of that franchise. And not only that, but the music sounds identical to the Mummy movies. And it was such a blast to revisit this movie. Like I said, Treat Williams is phenomenal in it. Famke Janssen's in it as well. She's fantastic. And if you've seen the Mummy movies, I can't think of the actor's name, but the fella that plays Benny in the Mummy movies, he's actually in this as well. He's the bit of the kind of comedy relief character in this, and I think you're going to be impressed by what you see when it comes from him. So yes, I definitely recommend checking this out. It's actually a beautiful Blu-ray release as well. The picture quality looks quite decent. The audio was a little bit lacking, if I'm completely honest, but I'm okay with it. It was just great to finally see this movie on Blu-ray, and it's the best I've ever seen it look as well. So great to finally have that. Right, so up next is a Mediabook that I picked up, and wow, this movie is fantastic. It's been a long time since I've seen it, and it is The Philadelphia Experiment. Now, this movie was produced by John Carpenter. I think he actually wrote a draft. He was the first person to write a draft for this movie, and when he actually finished writing the draft, it actually sounded very similar to The Fog, so he completely scrapped it. Now, as for the movie itself, if you're not aware of it, I'm going to try and explain this, so bear with me. But it's basically, I think it starts in the 50s or the 60s or something like that. And there's this battleship, and they've come up with this kind of they're doing this new experiment to make ships invisible to sonar. Unfortunately, when they actually do try it, the actual battleship itself disappears. And the two boys that are actually running the experiment on the ship, they jump off it, and they end up going to the future, into the 80s, where they quickly find out that they're actually doing the same experiment in the 80s, only for they'd done it in a small town, and the small town ended up disappearing. But what happened then was this kind of wormhole appears in the 80s, and it's basically sucking everything into it, and they basically have to come up with a way of actually stopping it. And it's a great movie. If you're into your movies like Starman and E.T., you know, it is fairly, very similar. You know, these boys are on the run from the authorities. And yeah, it's such a wonderful movie. It really is. It's been years since I've seen it. Matt Fee Movies, another YouTuber, actually done a video on this Mediabook. He was the one that made me aware of it. And the minute I seen Matt's video, I knew I needed to pick this up. So a huge thanks, Matt, for that video. And I will leave a link in the description below for Matt's channel. And please do check him out. He's such a wonderful lad. And great now to finally have this astonishing looking Mediabook. The picture quality on this does look quite amazing, even though there is a lot of film dirt on the picture, but it is easily the best the movie has ever looked, and I had such a fun time checking it out. So this one definitely gets my recommendation if you haven't seen it already before. So that is the Philadelphia Experiment. Right, so on to my 4K Steelbook pickups that I got from Amazon Italy, and the first one I have here is Knock at the Cabin. So this movie is directed by M. Night Shyamalan, and he is a real hit and miss director when it comes to me. His last movie, Old, I hated every aspect of that movie. And I wanted to get this movie, but it had to be at the right price. I wanted to get the Steelbook edition because it does look beautiful. And as soon as I seen Amazon Italy were selling it, I knew to wait. And it went down to €18, and I said to myself, you know what? Take a gamble on it, and I'm happy I did. It was worth the gamble. For the most part, I really enjoyed the movie. There is issues as well with it, unfortunately. But if anyone's not seen the movie, or if you're not aware of the movie, it is basically this gay couple. They're staying at this cabin with their beautiful daughter. It gets attacked by these 4 people. They get in, they tie them up, and they basically warn them about this upcoming apocalypse. The end of the world is coming. And the only way to stop it is for one of them to sacrifice the other. So it's one of them movies, when you're watching it, you're kind of wondering to yourself, are they actually talking shit? Or are they actually telling the truth? And the movie is very, very suspenseful. It'll keep you on the edge of your seat. The only problem I have with it is the ending. The ending was too safe. Now, M. Night Shyamalan, when it comes to the ending of his movies, for better or worse, they do be somewhat interesting, but this one was far, far too safe, and it kind of ruined the movie a little bit for me. But it is very suspenseful. I definitely recommend checking it out. Dave Bautista, talk about a gentle giant. When you see him in this movie, he was massively impressive in it. The 4K picture was a bit lacking. I wasn't massively impressed by it. A lot of scenes looked very out of focus. It just didn't lend well to 4K. So I've seen a hell of a lot better. The Dolby Atmos does sound quite decent on it though. So yeah, I do recommend checking it out. If you are an M. Night Shyamalan fan, you might get something out of the movie. So there we go, Knock at the Cabin. Right, so up next, I have 2 movies here that I haven't seen yet, so I'm not going to be spending too much time with them. So the first is Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. Now, I know I'm a bit late to the game on this one, and the reason to why I'm late to it is because I've simply lost faith in Marvel. The last phase has been massively underwhelming. So many poor movies. And to be honest, I haven't heard too many great things about this movie either. Now, I seen the first trailer to it when it dropped, and it looked beautiful. There was this amazing rendition of No Woman, No Cry playing through the trailer. But I just can't wrap my head around, you know, them making a Black Panther movie without Black Panther in it. Now, I know apparently they pay a great tribute to Chadwick Boseman in this movie. I think his name is Chadwick Boseman. Hope I'm pronouncing his name right there. And for that tribute alone, I'm intrigued to see it. But my expectations are rock bottom for this movie. I'm expecting nothing from it. And maybe because they're so low, I might get something out of this movie. I will have to wait and see. But I don't know what to tell you, folks. Even the 4K transfer on this is a Disney release. You just don't know what you're going to get with Disney. I'm hoping this is going to be a good one, because if anything, just going by the Steelbook alone, look how vibrant the Steelbook looks. And hopefully the movie itself is going to be as vibrant as the Steelbook, and hopefully the 4K transfer will be quite decent on it. I know the Dolby Atmos on this one, I guarantee you I'm going to have to crank it up quite a bit, because you have to do it with every single Disney release. So yes, fingers crossed on this one. I'm hoping I will enjoy it. Right, so that sets me up quite nicely for my last pickup, and it is Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. Now, this could very well be the last Ant-Man movie we're ever going to get, because this bombed at the box office. And as a matter of fact, I think the critical response was quite poor on it as well. I think it was actually one of the worst reviewed Marvel movies in the franchise, which is a real shame, considering the 2 movies before this were quite amazing. To see it take that kind of drop in quality is... it's such a shame. But look, I've said it numerous times, I never listen to reviews anyway. And just like the Black Panther movie, I'm kind of hoping, because my expectations are so low on it, that hopefully I will get some sort of enjoyment from it. Now, the only thing I know about this movie is apparently it sets up the next big bad, the next big villain, just like Thanos. And it's probably not the best movie to do it on, seeming it did flop at the box office. So fingers crossed as well that the 4K picture is going to be nice on this one. Again, just like Black Panther, you just don't know what you're going to get with Disney. And I'm sure I'm going to have to crank up the volume as well when it comes to the Atmos soundtrack. Again, I will know very, very soon. The Steelbook is absolutely beautiful on this one. I knew I needed to pick it up. And all the Steelbooks that you see with them Marvel movies are quite amazing. And I will continue to buy them, but I will have to get them at the right price. So there you have it, folks. That is all my pickups that I've gotten in the last week or two. Some good movies in there. One or two, fingers crossed, will be enjoyable. I will know very, very soon. So there you have it, folks. So as per usual, if you did like what you see here, please do give it a thumbs up. And if you could do, leave a comment down below. And please share your thoughts on some of the movies that I've shown in this video. I'm kind of curious to hear what you're going to say out there. And yeah, I hope to see you all again real soon with my next video. Until then, I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.